these elections are not going to fill a quorum for parliament. These elections might take, I don't know, months to try to do that, and will fail to do so legally and constitutionally. So it's time for the government to recognize the fact and try to find ways to move the country forward. I think people, all sides, accept that there needs to be elections. What they are disagreeing about is what kind of reforms or enhancement of the electoral process we can put in place so people have trust that these elections are free and fair and that they will actually lead to an achievement of reforms.
How comfortable do you feel, though, as a leader of a democratic party?
Nobody should feel comfortable the way the country is facing problems right now.
But you haven't distanced yourself from this movement, which is effectively trying to overthrow democracy.
What we have certainly done is offered alternatives and way out, which the government has refused to accept.
Surely the failing here in Thailand is yours as a party in failing to offer a viable alternative that can beat this government at an election.
No, I think the failing is for the government not to respect the law. That's the beginning.
But it has respected the law.
No, it hasn't respected. It clearly hasn't respected.
An election. It had a right to do that.
It clearly hasn't respected the law, which is why it was ruled to have done things unconstitutional. And yet it comes out and says that it does not accept the verdict of the Constitutional Court. And I don't actually call intimidating political opposition legal.
And yet the movement that your party is close to out on the streets also has armed men out there threatening voters yesterday.
No, the protests have been unarmed.
We
had the incident in Luxembourg.
We saw PDRC men with guns threatening voters yesterday. But there are armed elements on both sides, aren't there?
I don't condone any violence. We're not demanding special treatment. We are saying the government needs to recognize it's lost the trust of the people because of its abuse of democratic processes. It's time to take stock, and it's time to reform, and it's time to move forward.
What are you going to do to make your party appealing to the mass of the electorate? You haven't won an election for more than 20 years.
Look, when I became party leader, the party had just lost an election by a margin of 12 million votes. Within 3-4 years, we came close to actually beating them on a party list system. Last time, we lost by a margin of maybe 3-4 million votes. The latest poll taken before these elections were taken, we were slightly ahead.
And you ducked out of contesting the election?
Because people didn't want to participate. People,
not us. You didn't want to participate.
No, people didn't want to participate.
The government supporters do want to participate.
Well, not judging from the voting yesterday, when half their supporters didn't turn up. Look at the numbers.
And you think that's actually worth the risks to Thailand's electoral system?
No, I think
trying to contest it.
We are trying to get democracy here on a sound footing. We've had enough of intimidation and lack of respect for the law. What kind of democracy is it when you have a majority government that actually says people who don't vote for us, constituencies who don't vote for us, we don't work for them? There's no respect for the voting rights of minorities here. We respected the election results. We gave them 2 years without any trouble running the country. We only said one thing, that since they promised not to bring up the amnesty issue, when they did, protests erupted. So if all political parties respect the law, then we can move ahead.
What will you say now about the PDRC? I mean, will you put distance between them and your party because their activities look profoundly undemocratic?
Look, we have had our differences. And if we didn't have those differences, Kun Suthep would not have resigned from the party and led an independent movement. But, you know, all we share, and I'm sure that a lot of people in this country share, the objective of wanting to get this country out of the old cycle of abuses and conflict. And they want reforms. Reforms cannot be completed, as you say, before elections, but there has to be commitments to them to build trust and confidence that people should have in the democratic process and then move ahead.